In your academic writing, your argument needs to be supported by facts that originate from reliable academic sources. It is important that you integrate the different sources you use in such a way that it strengthens your argument. In this video, we are going to compare your role as a writer to that of a talk show host. The purpose of this comparison is to aid your understanding of source integration, the focus of this video. In a television talk show, there are always three parties present: the presenter, the guests, and the audience. In terms of writing, we can also identify these three parties, namely you, the writer, the sources that you consulted, and the reader. You, as talk show host, have to provide an introduction, then keep the conversation on topic, serious, and within the allocated time limit. And when all the guests have said what needed to be said, you provide a context-specific summary. Let's look at an example. In this paragraph, there is only a reference to one source. Thus, in this talk show, one guest overshadows the others, and so we can conclude that this talk show host did not provide enough opportunities to other guests to also give their input. The audience might have the need to find out what the guests have in common, or in what way they differ from each other. The same applies to integrating sources in your written work. Instead of merely providing information from each of your sources, indicate to the reader where the sources overlap or where they differ from one another. Remind yourself of the talk show you are hosting. Show the reader the similarities or differences between the sources, and when you have related all the information that fits in a certain section, provide a context-specific summary. Have a look at the following example. Did you note how the writer effectively used the discourse marker, in addition, to signal that the Said source had similar findings to those of Gilbert and Weaver? The writer also indicates similarities by means of the phrase, supports this argument. Also note the concluding sentence. Delayed sleep phase syndrome is therefore one of the common sleep problems that affect the academic performance of undergraduates. The next 3 steps might be helpful in refining your source integration skills. 1. Find enough quality sources to allow for an academic conversation. 2. Identify similarities and differences between your sources. You can consider aspects like differences in context, publication dates, research methods, and study populations. 3. Try to establish how the information from the various sources answers your research question. In other words, how is this information relevant and applicable to your specific context, and what is the implication? Although these steps appear simple, following them takes dedicated study and thorough comprehension of your sources. The successful integration of sources will aid your reader in following an academic conversation based on substantiated facts.